In my first life, the one that ended less than an hour ago, I was a man who believed in the solidity of things. I believed in the heavy oak of our dining table, the shared laughter that filled the rooms of our four-bedroom house, and the unwavering loyalty of my wife, Sarah. We were a team, partners in a life we'd built from the ground up. The second pillar of my world was my business, a tech consultancy I'd co-founded with Derek, my best friend since college. He was the brother I never had, the brilliant mind who complemented my strategic vision. We were on the verge of landing a contract that would make us untouchable. My life was a fortress of my own making, built on love, trust, and ambition. I was wrong about all of it. The fortress was made of sand, and the tide just came in. I died in our master bathroom, not with a bang, but with the quiet click of a plastic cap on a pregnancy test. Sarah's hands are shaking. It's the first thing I notice. She's holding the small, white stick like it's a viper. Her knuckles white, her face a mess of tears and mascara. The scent of her vanilla perfume, the one I bought her for our anniversary, hangs thick and cloying in the air. It's the scent I've always associated with home, with comfort, with her. Now it makes my stomach churn. "Marcus," she whispers, and the sound is so broken it barely registers as her voice. She can't look at me. Her eyes are fixed on the floor, on the pristine white tiles we picked out together last spring. "What is it, Sarah? Are you okay?" I'm still in my first life, you see. Still the loving husband, my mind already cataloging solutions. Is she sick? Is it bad news about her mother? My brain is a loyal dog, fetching answers that won't hurt me. She finally lifts her head, and her eyes are hollowed-out things, voids of despair. She extends her trembling hand, offering me the test. I don't need to see the two pink lines to understand. A wave of something hot and dizzying washes over me. Joy. Pure, unadulterated joy. We've been trying for a whole year of scheduled nights, of quiet disappointments, of holding each other and saying, "Next month." "We did it," I breathe, a grin splitting my face. I reach for her to pull her into my arms, to share this moment I've been dreaming of. She flinches away from my touch. The movement is so sharp, so violent, it's like a slap. The joy in my chest freezes, turning to ice. "No!" she chokes out, the words splintering in her throat. "Marcus, you don't understand." And then she says the words that end my world. "It's not yours." My chest caves in. It's not a metaphor. It's a physical sensation, a crushing weight. As if someone just punched through my ribs and stole every breath I thought I owned. The air in the room becomes thin, unbreathable. The bright, warm light of the bathroom feels suddenly like a sterile, interrogating glare. I look from her ravaged face to the pregnancy test in her hand. The two pink lines are no longer a symbol of hope. They're a verdict, a declaration of war. What? The word is a dry rasp, torn from a place deep inside me I didn't know existed. "It's Derek's," she sobs, and the name hangs in the air between us, a toxic cloud. Derek, my business partner, my best friend, the man who stood beside me at my wedding, the man whose back I've had, in business and in life, for 15 years. The ice in my chest shatters into a million tiny, jagged pieces, and a new feeling floods the void, a cold, clear rage. It's so pure, so potent, it steadies me. My vision sharpens. The shaking in my own hands stops. Sarah seems to mistake my silence for weakness, for shock that I might recover from. She takes a stumbling step toward me, her hands clasped in a gesture of supplication. "Marcus, please, I know, but I need your help. I need you to do something for me." I just stare at her. Her face is a stranger's. The woman I loved, the woman I built a life with, is gone. In her place is this conspirator. "I have an appointment," she says, her voice gaining a desperate urgency. "Tomorrow morning at 9. I need you to drive me to the clinic. Derek, he can't be seen there. It would ruin him. Please, Marcus, I'm begging you." The audacity of it is breathtaking. She hasn't just betrayed me with my best friend. She hasn't just gotten pregnant with his child. She is now demanding that I act as her chauffeur, her accomplice in erasing the evidence of their affair. All to protect him. Not us, not me. Him. The appointment is at 9 a.m. I glance at the clock on our bedside table. It's just past 10 in the evening. 18 hours. 18 hours until she expects me to drive her to an abortion clinic to end my best friend's baby. 18 hours to process the fact that my marriage, my friendship, my entire life died right here on these pristine white tiles. She's still talking, pleading, her words a meaningless buzz in my ears. I'm no longer listening. A plan is forming in the cold, clear space of my mind. A new kind of architecture. Not a fortress of sand, but a wrecking ball of iron. I turn without a word and walk out of the bathroom. I hear her call my name, a questioning, frightened sound. I ignore it. I walk to the small mahogany bowl by the front door where we keep our keys. My hand closes around the cool metal of my car keys. I can feel their weight, their potential. She thinks I'm going to be her driver. She thinks I'm going to help her cover her tracks. She has no idea where I'm about to drive myself. She has no idea what I'm about to end. The house is silent now, but it's a heavy, suffocating silence, thick with unspoken truths and the ghost of a future that will never be. Sarah has retreated to the guest room, her sobs muffled through the closed door. It's 11 p.m. The timer on my old life is ticking down. 17 hours until her appointment. 17 hours for me to dismantle the life she thinks she's just putting on hold. I walk into my home office, the one room in the house that feels untainted, and close the door. My hands are steady as I pull out my phone. I scroll past Derek's name, past the family chat group, until I find the number I need. Lisa Moreno, my lawyer. Her emergency line is for corporate crises, hostile takeovers, things I used to think were the biggest battles I'd ever fight. She answers on the second ring, her voice sharp and alert even at this hour. "Marcus, what's wrong?" "I need you to draw up divorce papers, Lisa, effective immediately." My voice is flat, devoid of the emotion churning in my gut. Emotion is a liability now. There's a stunned silence on the other end. Lisa has known me for years. She handled the legal work for my company, for our house. She sent a bottle of champagne when Sarah and I got married. "Marcus, what happened? Are you okay?" "I'm fine," I lie. "I want them ready by morning, irreconcilable differences. And I want the best private investigator you work with. I need him on retainer starting tonight." "A PI? Marcus, what the hell is going on?" "My wife is pregnant," I say, the words tasting like ash, "with my business partner, Derek." The sharp intake of breath on the other end is all the sympathy I need. "Oh, Marcus. God, I'm so sorry." "Don't be," I say, and I'm surprised by the truth in it. "Just be ready. I want everything. I want the house. I want her out of the company she has shares in. I want it all to be swift and brutal. No negotiations." "I'll have the papers drafted and an investigator on call. His name is Frank. I'll text you his number. Call him with whatever you need, anything." "Thanks, Lisa." I hang up before she can say anything more. One call down. One piece of the new world set in motion. I stand in the dark for a moment, letting the reality of it settle. Divorce. It's no longer an abstract concept, a sad story that happens to other people. It's my reality, a legal document being drafted right now. The silence is broken by a soft knock on the office door. "Marcus?" It's Sarah. I open the door and she's standing there, her face scrubbed clean of makeup, her eyes red-rimmed and puffy. She looks smaller, younger, a pale imitation of the confident woman I married. "Can we talk?" she asks, her voice trembling. "There's nothing to talk about," I say, my voice a wall of ice. "Please," she says, stepping into the office. "Don't do this. Don't shut me out. I know I messed up. I know I destroyed everything, but I'm scared. And I need you." The sheer, unmitigated gall of that statement reignites the cold fire in my veins. "You need me? You need me to do what, Sarah? To hold your hand while you get rid of his baby? To pat you on the back and tell you it's all going to be okay? You think you can just destroy everything I thought we had, and I'll be your chauffeur to the scene of the crime?" Tears well in her eyes again, spilling down her cheeks. "Marcus, please, I need you to pack your bags." I cut her off, the words like chips of stone. "I want you out of this house, tonight." Her face crumbles. This finally seems to be something she didn't expect. The shock is genuine. "What? No, Marcus, you can't. Where would I go?" "I don't care. You can go to Derek's. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see you." Panic flashes in her eyes, raw and real. "I can't. You know I can't. His wife." She clamps a hand over her mouth, but it's too late. The words are out. I stare at her, the pieces clicking into place with sickening speed. "His wife? Derek is married?" She looks away, refusing to meet my eyes. "It's complicated." "No, it's not complicated, Sarah. It's simple. You've been sleeping with my married best friend, and you just confirmed it." My mind is reeling. I knew he had a long-term girlfriend years ago, but I thought they broke up. He never spoke about her. Never. The depth of the deception is staggering. Our company, our friendship, our marriage, all lies. An intricate web of deceit, with me at the center, the oblivious fool. The clinic appointment looms. It's almost midnight, 9 hours left. But the objective has changed. It's no longer just about surviving the next 9 hours. It's about using them. "Get out of my office," I say, my voice dangerously low. She hesitates, opens her mouth to speak again, but something in my eyes must stop her. She turns and flees, the sound of her footsteps retreating down the hall. I lock the door behind her. My phone buzzes. It's Lisa with Frank's number. I don't call him yet. First, there's something else I need to do. I walk quietly to the guest room. The door is slightly ajar. I can hear her on the phone, her voice a frantic whisper. "Derek, he knows. He knows it's yours." "No, he's kicking me out. I don't know what to do." I retreat before she can hear me. I go to our bedroom, my bedroom now, and find her purse on the dresser. Her phone is inside. It's unlocked. She always was careless. My hands are perfectly steady as I begin to photograph everything. The call logs filled with Derek's number. The text messages. I scroll back weeks, then months. The late nights at the office. The business trips they took together. It's all here. Explicit messages, photos I can't bear to look at for more than a second. Plans for a future that didn't include me. Each photo I take is a nail in the coffin of our marriage. Each flash of the camera is a piece of ammunition for the war to come. 7 hours until the appointment. She thinks it's a deadline to erase a problem. She has no idea it's my starting gun. The city is still asleep, shrouded in the cold, gray fog of a pre-dawn winter morning. It's 6 a.m. The clinic doesn't open for another 3 hours, but I'm not at home. I'm not in bed, stewing in my own personal hell. I'm parked across the street from the downtown high-rise where Derek and I built our company from nothing. My company. The thought solidifies in my mind, hard as steel. I'm in my car, the engine off, the air inside frigid. But I don't feel the cold. The rage is a furnace in my chest. I'm watching the entrance to the building, nursing a lukewarm coffee from a 24-hour gas station. I know Derek's routine. He's always the first one in, especially when a big project is on the line. He'll be here soon, thinking he's coming in to work on the biggest deal of our careers. He has no idea he's walking into the demolition of his life. Frank, the PI, is already at work. I'd called him at 2 a.m., my voice a low, controlled monotone. I gave him Derek's name, his personal details, and a simple instruction. Find everything. Financials, assets, relationships. I want to know what he had for breakfast and who he ate it with. I want it yesterday. Frank, to his credit, just said, "Understood, you'll hear from me." A sleek, black sedan pulls up to the curb. Derek gets out. He's wearing one of his ridiculously expensive suits, a charcoal gray one that probably costs more than my first car. He looks tired, his face drawn. He's on his phone, his posture tense. I watch as he paces back and forth on the sidewalk, his voice a low, angry murmur that I can't hear but can feel from across the street. He's talking to Sarah. He's trying to manage the fallout. The fool. He's worried about a brush fire when a tsunami is about to hit. He ends the call, his face a mask of frustration, and shoves the phone in his pocket. He turns toward the building entrance, but then he stops. He squints, his eyes scanning the street. And then they lock onto my car. Onto me. For a moment, he just stands there, frozen. I don't move. I just meet his gaze through the windshield, a silent declaration. The fury in his eyes is visible even from 50 feet away. He doesn't hesitate. He storms across the street, dodging a taxi that blares its horn at him. He marches right up to my driver's side window, his face contorted in a sneer. I press the button and the window glides down with a soft whir. "What the hell are you doing here, Marcus?" He spits, his voice low and venomous. "I could ask you the same thing," I reply, my tone conversational. "Shouldn't you be at home with your wife?" The color drains from his face. It's a direct hit. He wasn't expecting me to know. Sarah must not have told him that part. "You stay away from my family," he hisses. "A little late for that, isn't it? Seeing as you've been trying to start a new one with mine." He leans closer, his knuckles white as he grips the top of my car door. "You can't prove anything, Marcus." A cold smile touches my lips. "That's where you're wrong. Sarah is a surprisingly meticulous record keeper when it comes to her illicit affairs, but that's not even the interesting part." His eyes narrow. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about our company," I say, letting the word "our" hang in the air for a beat before mentally slicing it away. "My company. You know, I was up all night, couldn't sleep, so I decided to do a little reading, went over our financials for the past 2 years, and I found the most fascinating things." This is the bluff. Frank hasn't gotten back to me with the financials yet, but as I sat here in the dark, my mind, fueled by betrayal and caffeine, started connecting dots I'd been too blind to see before. The vague expense reports for client entertainment that were always just a little too high. The consulting fees paid to shell corporations I'd never heard of. The business trips for 2 that only one of us was supposed to be on. I'd trusted him. I'd signed off on everything, my mind on the big picture, never suspecting my partner, my best friend, was bleeding me dry from the inside. "The Phoenix consulting payments, Derek," I say, plucking a name out of thin air, a gamble based on a gut feeling. "The offshore account in the Caymans, it's amazing what you can find when you actually start looking." He recoils as if I'd physically struck him. His face goes from pale to ashen. It's not a bluff anymore. It's a confirmed kill. The way his eyes dart away, the slight tremor in his hand. He's guilty. He's been embezzling from our own company. For how long? For how much? The scale of his betrayal expands, becoming a monstrous, all-consuming thing. It wasn't just my wife he wanted. It was my money, my business, my life. He wanted to take everything. Sarah made her choice, he snarls, trying to regain his footing, to pivot back to the personal, the emotional. She chose me. And I'm about to make mine, I say, my voice as cold and hard as the morning concrete. I press the button and the window glides up, sealing him out. He stands there, his mouth opening and closing like a fish, as I turn the key in the ignition. The engine roars to life. He bangs on the window, his face a mask of desperation. "Marcus, wait! We can talk about this!" I don't look at him again. I pull away from the curb, leaving him standing in the street, a pathetic, well-dressed ghost in the winter fog. The morning sun is just beginning to cut through the haze, and for the first time I see everything with perfect, painful clarity. He hasn't just broken my heart. He's tried to break my bank. And he's about to find out what happens when you corner a man with nothing left to lose. I'm driving, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm just moving through the city's arteries, a ghost in the morning traffic. The confrontation with Derek was a victory, but a hollow one. It confirmed my suspicions, but the reality of it is a fresh wound on top of a festering one. He didn't just betray me, he plundered me. He smiled in my face, clapped me on the back, and all the while his hand was in my pocket, stealing the future we were supposed to build together. My phone rings, buzzing against the passenger seat. The screen displays an unknown number. I answer, putting it on speaker. "Hello? Mr. Hayes? This is Frank Gable, Lisa Moreno's associate." The voice is gravelly, professional. "Frank, what have you got?" "I've got a lot," he says, and I can hear the rustle of papers in the background. "Your partner Derek is a busy man. I started with his financials, as requested. You were right to be suspicious. He's been moving money, small amounts at first, then larger, into an offshore account for the last 18 months. Looks like about $250,000, maybe more. I'm still digging." $250,000. The number hangs in the air, obscene. The cost of his suits, his fancy car, his secret life with my wife. All bought with my money, my sweat, my trust. "But that's not the most interesting part, Mr. Hayes," Frank continues, his voice grim. "He's not just been hiding money from you, he's been hiding a whole life." I grip the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white. "What do you mean?" "Derek isn't just married, he's a family man. He lives in a nice little suburb 40 minutes outside the city. A wife, Emily, married for 10 years. 2 kids, a boy 7 and a girl 5. I'm sending you the pictures now." My phone chimes. I pull over to the side of the road, my heart hammering against my ribs. I open the email from Frank. There are 3 photos. The first is of a house. A pretty 2-story colonial with blue shutters and a perfectly manicured lawn. A child's bicycle lies on its side in the driveway. It's the kind of house people put on Christmas cards. The kind of house Sarah and I used to talk about buying one day, when we're ready to leave the city. The second photo is of Derek and a woman. She's pretty, with warm, smiling eyes and long brown hair. They're standing on the porch of the blue-shuttered house, their arms around each other. They look happy. They look normal. This is Emily, his wife. The third photo makes my breath catch in my throat. It's Derek again, but this time he's on the lawn, crouched down. A little boy with a missing front tooth is on his back, his arms wrapped around Derek's neck. A little girl with blonde pigtails is holding his hand, laughing up at him. They are a family. A real, living, breathing family. A wave of nausea rolls over me. This isn't just a simple, sordid affair anymore. This is a labyrinth of lies, a multi-layered deception so vast and monstrous it's hard to comprehend. He has a wife. He has children. These innocent people, this smiling woman and these laughing kids, are just as much his victims as I am. He's been living a double life, maybe even a triple one One life with his family in the suburbs, one life with me, his best friend and business partner, and a third, secret life with Sarah, his mistress, the woman he was building a fantasy future with, funded by the money he stole from me and the time he stole from his own children. My anger, which had been a hot, clarifying rage, morphs into something colder, heavier. It's the weight of this new knowledge. He wasn't just cheating on me, he was cheating on all of them. He was promising Sarah a future while he was tucking his children into bed at night. The sheer sociopathy of it is chilling. And Sarah, did she know? Did she know about the wife, the kids? Or was she just another one of his marks, another woman he lied to, promising to leave a wife he had no intention of leaving? The thought offers a sliver of, not sympathy, but understanding. But it's quickly extinguished. She knew he was married. She told me so herself. She was a willing participant in the destruction of another woman's family, all while helping to destroy her own. My phone buzzes again. A text from Sarah. Where are you? It's almost 7:30. We need to leave soon. The clinic. The 9 a.m. appointment. It feels like a lifetime ago. The plan was to drive there, to end the physical evidence of their betrayal. But that's too small now. It's too simple. Erasing the baby doesn't erase the crime. It doesn't touch the real disease. The cancer of Derek's lies that has metastasized through all of our lives. A new plan forms in my mind, crystal clear, born out of the ashes of the old one. My focus shifts. The target is no longer a tiny cluster of cells in Sarah's womb. The target is Derek. Not just his business, not just his relationship with Sarah, his entire world. I look at the picture of the blue shuttered house again. I see myself walking up that driveway, an evidence folder in my hand. I see myself knocking on that door, and when his smiling, unsuspecting wife answers, I will hand her the truth. I will show her the text messages from Sarah. I will show her the bank statements from the offshore account, the money that should have been for her children's college funds. I will burn his whole life to the ground. Instead of driving Sarah to destroy a piece of her future, I will drive to Derek's wife to destroy all of his. I put the car in gear. I enter the address Frank sent me into my GPS. 40 minutes. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Sarah. Marcus, I'm serious. Where are you? I ignore it. I pull back into traffic, the GPS directing me out of the city toward the suburbs. The sun is higher in the sky now, a pale, watery light. I'm driving, my purpose absolute. The clock is ticking, but it's not Sarah's clock anymore. It's mine. And I'm not just a chauffeur on the road to an abortion clinic. I'm a herald on the road to Armageddon. The suburbs are a world away from the cold, hard angles of the city. Here, the streets are wide and lined with trees, the houses are set back from the road, and there's a quiet, almost unnerving stillness in the air. It's the kind of place where people believe in the sanctity of their lives, in the safety of their homes. It's the kind of place that's about to be shattered. I pull up a block away from the blue shuttered house and park. The bicycle is still on its side in the driveway. A yellow school bus rumbles past, stopping at the corner. The world is proceeding as normal, completely unaware of the bomb I'm about to detonate. I grab the manila folder from the passenger seat. Inside are the printouts. The text messages between Sarah and Derek, a timeline of their affair. The preliminary financial records from Frank, showing the transfers to the offshore account. And the photos of Sarah, the ones I found on her phone. The ones that prove this was not a fleeting mistake, but a long-term, calculated betrayal. My heart is a cold, steady drum in my chest. There's no rage anymore, just a profound, grim sense of purpose. I get out of the car and walk towards the house. Each step on the clean, suburban sidewalk feels heavy, final. I walk up the driveway, past the overturned bicycle, and onto the porch. There's a welcome mat with cartoon cats on it. For a second, the sheer domesticity of it all makes me hesitate. I am about to ruin this woman's life. I am about to tell her that her husband, the father of her children, is a liar, a cheat, and a thief. But then I think of Derek's face, sneering at me from outside my car window. I think of Sarah, begging me to be her accomplice. I think of the $250,000 that should have been mine, that should have been for my family, my future. The hesitation vanishes. This is not my fault. I am not the cause of this pain. I am just the messenger, delivering a truth that is long overdue. I ring the doorbell. After a moment, the door opens. It's her, Emily. She's even prettier in person, her brown hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She's wearing yoga pants and a sweatshirt that says, "World's Best Mom." She gives me a hesitant, questioning smile. "Can I help you?" "Are you Emily Hayes?" I ask, my voice even. "Yes," she says, the smile faltering slightly. "Do I know you?" "My name is Marcus Thorne," I say. "I'm your husband's business partner." The recognition dawns in her eyes, followed by confusion. "Oh, Marcus, of course. I've heard so much about you. Is everything okay? Is Derek all right?" "No," I say simply. "Nothing is okay, and I think you need to see this." I hold out the folder. She looks from my face to the folder and back again, a flicker of fear in her eyes. She takes it from me, her hand trembling slightly. She opens it. I watch her face as she reads. It's like watching a building crumble in slow motion. The confusion gives way to disbelief. The disbelief to a dawning, sickening horror. Her eyes scan the text messages, her breath coming in short, sharp gasps. She flips the page to the financial records, her brow furrowing. Then she gets to the photos of Sarah. A low, wounded sound escapes her lips, like an animal in pain. She looks up at me, her face pale, her eyes filled with a pain so profound it's hard to look at. But beneath the pain, there's something else. A flicker of something harder. Of anger. "My husband," she says, her voice a raw whisper, "will pay for this." "He's not just your husband anymore," I say, the words falling like stones into the quiet morning air. "He's a criminal, and he's about to lose everything." She looks at me, a question in her eyes. "What do you mean?" "Just check the news tomorrow," I say. "I have a feeling he'll be famous." She closes the folder, her movements stiff, automatic. She hugs it to her chest like a shield. "I knew something was wrong," she says, more to herself than to me. The late nights, the business trips, the way he was always so secretive with his phone. She finally meets my eyes again, and this time, the hardness is more pronounced. "He's been promising to leave me for her for 2 years. 2 years. The words hit me with the force of a physical blow. This wasn't a recent affair. This was a long-term campaign of deception. He'd been lying to his wife for 2 years, lying to me for at least 18 months, maybe longer, playing all of us. My phone buzzes in my pocket, a frantic, insistent vibration. I pull it out. The screen is filled with missed calls and texts from Sarah. "Marcus, where are you? The appointment is in 30 minutes. I'm going to be late. Pick up the phone. I can't do this alone. Marcus." I look at Emily, at the wreckage of her life spread out on her welcome mat. I look at my phone, at the desperate pleas of the woman who helped cause this destruction, and I feel nothing for her. Emily seems to follow my gaze to the phone. "Is that her?" she asks, her voice laced with venom. "Yes," I say. "She's waiting for me to drive her to an appointment." "Then you should go," Emily says. her voice suddenly strong, resolute. She's no longer a victim. She's a woman who has just been handed a weapon. Go to your appointment. I have some calls to make. She looks down at the folder in her hands, then back at me. A silent understanding passes between us. We are allies now, bound by the same betrayal. Good luck, Emily, I say. You too, Marcus, she replies. I turn and walk away, leaving her standing in the doorway of her broken home. As I get back in my car, I see her through the window, already on her phone, her face a mask of cold, hard determination. She's calling her lawyer. I start the engine. The clinic is a 30-minute drive. I'm going to be right on time. The second act of my plan is complete. Derek's personal life is a ticking time bomb, and his wife just lit the fuse. Now for the finale. Now for Sarah. The waiting room of the clinic is a study in beige anonymity. The walls are beige, the chairs are beige. The carpet is a slightly darker, more depressing shade of beige. It's a room designed to be forgettable, a place of transit where lives are quietly, clinically altered. The air is thick with a hushed, anxious silence, punctuated by the soft rustle of magazines and the occasional sniffle. And in the middle of it all sits Sarah, a vibrant slash of color in this monochrome world of despair. She's pacing back and forth, a caged animal, her phone clutched in her hand. She's wearing a bright red coat, a color of defiance, of passion, of alarm. It's the coat she wore on our first date. The irony is a bitter pill. She spots me the moment I walk in, and a wave of relief washes over her face, quickly followed by anger. She rushes toward me, her voice a furious whisper. Where have you been? I've been calling you for hours. My appointment was for 9 o'clock. They're going to take someone else. I'm going to lose my spot. Relax, I say, my voice calm, steady. I'm sure they can squeeze you in. I take in the scene. She's alone. Of course she is. Where's Derek? I thought he was so worried about you. He's not answering his phone, she says, her voice laced with a panicked frustration that is delicious to witness. Something's wrong. He was supposed to meet me here. Oh, I'm sure something's wrong, I say, walking past her to one of the uncomfortable beige chairs and sitting down. I cross my legs, the picture of calm. I'd imagine his day is not going according to plan. She stares at me, her eyes narrowing. What did you do? Me? I didn't do anything, I say, picking up a dog-eared copy of a home and garden magazine from the table beside me. I flip through the pages, pretending to be interested in kitchen renovations. I just delivered some information to his wife. The color drains from her face. She looks as if I've just told her the building is on fire. His wife? You went to his house? Marcus, how could you? Easily, I say, not looking up from the magazine. Her name is Emily. She's very nice. Distraught, of course, but resolute. I think she's going to be fine. Derek, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. What are you talking about? She whispers, her voice trembling. He's probably a little busy right now, Sarah, I say, finally closing the magazine and meeting her gaze. The coldness in my eyes makes her flinch. He's probably explaining to his wife of 10 years why he emptied their kids' college funds to pay for expensive dinners with you. He's probably trying to figure out how to stop her from filing for divorce and taking him for everything he's worth, which, as it turns out, isn't as much as he led you to believe. You're lying, she says, but there's no conviction in it. The words are a desperate prayer, not a statement of fact. Am I? I lean forward, my voice dropping. Like you lied to me for months? Like he lied to you for 2 years, pretending he was going to leave a family he never intended to part with? Did you really think you were the first, Sarah? Did you think you were special? The truth of it hits her. A physical blow. She stumbles back, her hand going to her mouth. He told me. He said they were separated. He told you what you wanted to hear, I say, standing up. Because he's a user. He used me for my money and my connections. He used his wife for her stability and the picture-perfect family. And he used you for, well, you know what he used you for. You destroyed everything, she cries, her voice breaking, drawing a sharp look from the receptionist behind the glass partition. No, I say, my voice as hard and unforgiving as marble. You two destroyed everything. You lit the match. I just fanned the flames. You wanted me to drive you here because Derek couldn't be seen, because it would ruin him. Well, guess what? He's ruined, and it has nothing to do with this clinic. I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out a folded sheaf of papers. I walk over to the small table in the center of the room and lay them out. The divorce papers. Lisa had them messengered to a coffee shop near my location an hour ago. What is this? She asks, her eyes wide with fear. This is the end of our marriage, I say. I've already signed. All that's left is your signature. She stares at the papers, at my neat, firm signature at the bottom of the page. She looks up at me, her eyes pleading. Marcus, no. We can fix this. I can fix this. There is nothing to fix, I say. You made your choice. Now it's time to live with it. Her body is racked with a sob, a deep, guttural sound of pure despair. As she stands there, broken and defeated, my phone rings. I look at the screen. It's an unknown number, but I know who it is. I answer it, keeping my eyes locked on Sarah's. Hello? Mr. Thorne, this is Catherine Vale. I'm the attorney for Emily Hayes. The voice is crisp, professional, and ruthless. I'm calling to inform you that based on the evidence you provided my client, we have contacted the authorities. Formal charges of embezzlement and fraud are being filed against Mr. Derek Hayes as we speak. His assets are being frozen. I thought you'd like to know. Thank you, Catherine, I say, a slow, cold smile spreading across my face. I appreciate the update. I hang up and look at Sarah. That was Derek's wife's lawyer, I say softly. He's not just broke, Sarah. He's going to be a felon. His wife isn't just divorcing him. She's sending him to prison. The last vestiges of hope die in her eyes. The fight goes out of her. She is utterly, completely alone. She walks to the table like a zombie, picks up the pen, and with a hand that shakes so badly she can barely hold it, she signs the papers. The end of us, scrawled in shaky blue ink in a beige waiting room that smells of antiseptic and regret. The receptionist calls her name. Sarah Thorne, we're ready for you. Sarah doesn't move. She just stares at her signature on the page, at the final, irrevocable proof that she has lost everything. I look at her, a crumpled figure in a bright red coat, her signature a testament to the ruins of our lives. The anger is gone, replaced by a vast, cold emptiness. I didn't win. There are no winners here. There is only wreckage. I pick up my copy of the divorce papers from the table, fold them neatly, and place them in my jacket pocket. She doesn't look up. You drove me here to end his baby, I say, my voice just loud enough for her to hear over the hum of the clinic's ventilation. But I drove us both here to end our lies. I turn and walk out the door, into the bright, indifferent light of day. I don't look back. There's nothing left to see. 6 months later, the city is in the grip of summer. The world has moved on, and so, in my own way, have I. I'm standing in the empty shell of what was once my company's office. The desks are gone, the walls are bare. The only thing that remains is the view of the city skyline through the floor-to-ceiling windows. It's a view I bought with years of my life, a view that was almost stolen from me. I dissolved our partnership the day after the clinic. With Derek's assets frozen and the embezzlement charges made public, our clients scattered. The company was toxic, but I fought. I salvaged what I could, paid off the debts, and started over, alone, under a new name, Thorne Consulting. It's smaller now, leaner, but it's mine. Every contract, every dollar, every late night is entirely my own. The work is harder, but the sleep is better. Derek took a plea bargain. The evidence was overwhelming. He was sentenced to 5 to 7 years in a federal facility for fraud and embezzlement. Emily, his now ex-wife, got the blue-shuttered house and what was left of his legitimate assets. She sends me a polite, professional email once a month, updating me on the restitution payments the court ordered Derek to make to me. They're small, a fraction of what he stole, but they're a constant reminder. And Sarah? I hear things. Lisa, my lawyer, tells me she hired a cut-rate attorney and got next to nothing in the divorce. The evidence of her infidelity was too damning. The last I heard, she was working retail at a mall in the suburbs, trying to pay off her legal fees. She kept the baby. It was the one thing that surprised me. In the end, faced with the complete implosion of her life, with Derek's betrayal and my cold departure, she walked out of that clinic. She had the baby, a boy. I know this because one night, I received a photo message from a number I didn't recognize. It was a picture of a newborn swaddled in a blue hospital blanket. There was no text, no explanation, just the photo. I deleted it without a second glance. They say he's not returning her calls from prison. Sometimes late at night, when the city is quiet and the weight of the last 6 months settles on me, I think about that day. I think about the drive to Emily's house, the cold purpose that filled me. I think about the waiting room, the finality of her signature. I could have been kinder. I could have been the bigger man. But betrayal on that scale isn't a clean wound. It's a poison that infects everything. My rage was the only antidote I had. I did what I had to do to survive. I set the pieces in motion, exposed the lies, and then stepped aside. Karma, as it turns out, is a patient and meticulous driver. And sometimes, the best, most profound revenge is to simply get out of the way and let it take the wheel. The road ahead is my own now, and for the first time in a long time, I'm the only one steering.